first of all, and welcome everybody to the first show of what we're gonna be calling Undeniable. Undeniable meaning that, when something undeniable, you can't really argue with it. You might don't agree with it or you might don't like it, but when something undeniable, you can't really do nothing with it. You see, I want to give a shout out to my boy Meek Management, Meek Entertainment, my boy Rod in the Street for putting this together. We trying something. I believe it's gonna be successful. My name Jason Robinson, aka J Love. A couple people know me. And to start the show, which the show gonna be based on a lot of stuff. Current events, history, and just truth basically. But to start it off and to give you a little background of mine, I'm gonna let you know who I am. Born 1980, June 29th. That's Jason Robinson, born in Jacksonville, Florida. Born and raised by Mary Robinson and Henry Robinson. Same household. Both my parents was married. I lost my father when I was 12 years old. I lost my mother when I was 15 years old. From the time of 15 on to now, which I'm at the age of 40, I kind of been on my own. Now, some people, and to go back to when I was 15, got sued when I was 15 by older family members. Just a lot of stuff got caught. You know how it goes. Somebody die in your family, and 9 out of 10 it create chaos. I ain't the only one with this type of story. I'm sure there's plenty of people can relate. But just to let you know, had to figure out a lot on my own, had to do a lot on my own with the odds against me. So I'm here as living proof to say that it can be done. So, don't never let nothing stop you. As long as you wake up and you got breath, you got a chance. You got a choice and you got a chance, and make the best one. You see what I'm saying? What led me at a young age, I used to get into a lot of trouble. I ain't had no supervision. I ain't gonna say no supervision, but I just ain't really respect the supervision that I had. I wind up getting into trouble with the law early on. I've lived in the street life, or whatever you want to call it. It ain't nothing that I feel people should glorify, because at the time when I was in that type of lifestyle, that's what people really had to do. It wasn't something that people was glorifying. And you bring that all the way up into now. I just been studying ever since I was about 20. I say about 20 to now, which would be 40 years. Which would be 20 years. I've been doing black historical research, just unlearning and relearning. I would call myself self-educated. I did complete 12 years of high school, but I've learned more teaching myself than I ever learned in school. And learning the truth might hurt sometimes. See, because you might have an emotional attachment to some of these things without ever having to put the research into it. But I'm here to tell you, I did the research for you, so you can trust me. I'm gonna say you can trust my word, but always go behind my word and check what I'm saying to be true if you don't think it's true. You see, you can't be scared to do that. And from there, I'm gonna just step in it from where we at. Where we at right now, we just got done with I guess we still in the middle of an election with this current president Donald Trump and President-elect Joe Biden. Which I saw the whole time during the election, a lot of people got caught up in it, and there was a lot of emotional bickering going on amongst our own people. Black people arguing with other black people. You had black Trump supporters, you had black Biden supporters. And the first thing I would say is this: before you get caught up in the two candidates, you should really learn the system that the candidate's trying to participate in. That might give you a little more insight to what's going on. before you put your personal interest in one or the other. Understand what they being voted into. You see, you're going by a constitution that's been in place since they put this country together. You see, you're dealing with two 70-year-old Caucasian males. You see, I believe Joe Biden was born in 1942. I believe Donald Trump was born in 1946. Sorry about that. What you dealing with is two older white males that grew up in a time in America where race relations wasn't the best. You see, so trying to pick one or the other about which one deal with black people more than the other one, in my opinion, you flipping a coin, and you calling heads or tails, but really it's the same coin. You see, because what you got to understand in reality, and let me say this, we always dealing with reality. This a reality show. This ain't based on opinions. You see, an opinion is like somebody's favorite color or somebody's favorite food. You see, that may vary. That ain't something that you could really dispute. You see, as I say, undeniable. Now, something that's undeniable might be something that you ain't comfortable with, but yet it's still undeniable. You see what I'm saying? And what we dealing with when we dealing with these two men is that, hey man, I can promise you this in reality. This ain't an opinion. In reality, ain't now one of them grow up with, if they had a black friend, I would be surprised. I mean, a black friend, I would be surprised. Between the two of them. I mean, between the two of them. Because you have to understand, they grew up in segregation. They ain't go to school with people look like me or you. You understand me? So it probably was well into their 20s before they even was around some black people. You see what I'm saying? So now you bring that to 2020 and we arguing about who the what and which one the best. All I want to say is this: you would have to also study the history of the presidency. You see, you have what is that? Nixon. Nixon had to resign. Ronald Reagan got attempted assassinated twice. What Bill Clinton had to, he had to resign, if that's what you want to call it, for having an affair with Monica Lewinsky. You see, I say that to say this: you've never had. I give Barack Obama a little credit because the brother kept his face clean. But you never had the president ain't somebody to look up to as a moral compass of America. You see what I'm saying? They disappointed in Trump, and they saying, well, how could he be qualified? It wasn't never really, none of them was really qualified. Ronald Reagan was an actor. It was the same thing. And what you have to understand as black people is this: from my personal living on this planet and in this country in particular, I've never seen, the poor parts of my community still the poor parts of my community. Regardless of who the president or who ain't the president. Them same parts of my community that was poor when I was young, they poor now. You see what I'm saying? And the only ones that ain't poor is because of segregation and the people done come in and bought it, but it ain't had nothing to do with who was the president, you see. And I just want us to stop arguing and don't get your feelings too caught up in that about who winning and who losing and this, that, and the third. What I want you to do is wake up every day and come up with you some type of financial plan. You see, come up with you some type of financial plan where you can usurp what they're trying to do to you. You understand? Because see, you got a greater enemy going on versus of a Trump and a Biden. You got a systematic racism going on. You got a whole system put together to keep a person that look like me at the bottom of the totem pole. See, that's what you have to understand. That's what you're dealing with. Right now today, we 455 years in America. You see, we on the 45th president going into the 46th president. Now, after 45 presidents, you see the condition we in. Its strides have been made. Because see, at this point, we what you would call slaves on a plantation no more, but it is other forms of control that have been implemented on us. You have to understand, and you have to be willing to deal with some of this. For my spiritual people. For my spiritual people, I don't mean to offend nobody. I truly don't mean to offend nobody. I know you love your religion, you love your spiritual belief, and I respect that. I truthfully respect that. This is not a personal dig at you. This is not meant to be disrespectful. I'm coming from once again a facts and truth standpoint. You have to understand how a lot of this was implemented on us. If you were Christian, you have to understand when you came as black people, when you came into Christianity. You should understand when Christianity began. If you are a person, refer to yourself as an Islamic person, a Muslim, you should understand how you come into that religion and who started it and when it started. You see, you call yourself a Jewish person or a Hebrew Israelite. You should understand the origins of that. You should understand when you come into contact with that. We got a lot of learning to do, and that's just your biblical knowledge. You see what I'm saying? Because see, I say the biblical knowledge because right now today you got a lot of the world views is based on this book, and people living and dying for it, and I tend to disagree with a lot of it because see, first of all, let me say this, because let me play devil's advocate. You may say, well, nigga, how you know? You see what I'm saying? Nigga, you ain't read no Bible, or nigga, how you know? Well, listen, let me clarify this. I've read every Bible. And Bibles you may not even have heard of. Truth be told, because see, I'm a researcher. I've read the Geneva Bible. Some may be familiar with this. I've read the book of Adam and Eve. I've read the book of Enoch. I've read the Law Scrolls, the Torah, the Tanakh, the Kabbalah. That's Jewish literature, what I just named. I've also read the Quran with the Q and the Quran with the K. I know the difference. All Christian literature, Catholic literature. I not only read it, I studied it and broke it down. It's not something that I just started reading through and said, well, I'm done now, I understand it. No, I dissected it. I know the origin of it, the words of it, what the language means versus something. Now, the casual person may just be a person wake up, you may own a Bible, but do you really read your Bible and do you understand your Bible?